This about a week ago. Um, it seems to me that about 4 or 5 times a year, I complete a painting that I'm really satisfied with, and this happens to be one of them. I didn't really intend for this to produce. I was more playing around with shapes and values. I did do a lot of thumbnail sketches. I've been to this location many times. I went out and took some more pictures. I did a few sketches while I was on site. When I was out on location, this had very little snow on it. So I had to add the snow and try to imagine what it would be like after the first snowfall. The first thing that you would probably, if you walked into a room and saw this hanging in a gallery, would be the design. And that was my intention. I wanted to be something that was striking, that would stick out among all the other beautiful paintings in the gallery. I think this one will, with a good frame on it. One of the things that I really concentrated on was I didn't want too many straight lines. As you can see, I've reduced all the straight lines to just under 2 inches, 2 inches or less. And what that does for me is it creates rhythm. I could have made this straight across here, but I broke it up, keeping all these straight lines, even for tree trunks, to about 1.5 to 2 inches or less, even the trunk on this tree. By doing that, I think it automatically creates a rhythm. And for me, in order to make a dull, unattractive winter scene into something really interesting, is to create rhythm. The next thing is, of course, values. And I worked really hard in these dark areas. In fact, I like working in the dark areas the most because they're so interesting to me. Instead of just making a really dark shape, large shape, I've broken it up and used various colors, various shades of blue and gray and brown in this one area right here. All the values of blue plus all the close values in other colors like green and so forth are hidden in this area right here. So another thing to keep in mind. As you can see, the horizon line I kept low. Of course, you could call this the horizon line, I guess, which is high. And as I've said before, I very seldom put a horizon line right in the middle of a painting, which also adds to the design of the painting. I guess the third thing would be the light, and like I said before, I exaggerated this area right here as the light would stream down here and cause this large shadow and hit this bank right here. The textures are heavy in the front and really smooth back here, almost no texture at all. I did sprinkle a little paint up here, a little house paint, just to create kind of a pebble surface for the pastel to cast over. So, like I said, I'll be doing a couple of these talk-throughs a month, hopefully, and I've got a couple paintings in mind that I'll work on a video for coming up in a few weeks. So until then, happy painting.